All right, another sidechain video because I spend more time doing this than actually creating music. But today I'm going to talk about Crossfade Sidechain. And I came across this from a guy named Selig who posted on the Reason Talk forums. I'll link to that. So the idea is you simply crossfade between the drums and the rest. And this is sometimes a lot cleaner than doing pumping, compressing sidechain, and it results in much less distortion than using ringmod sidechain. So here's an example project where there are two tracks. One is the bass line, and the other one is the drums. And both of these tracks, they peak at around 0 dB. And let me play each track separately so you can hear them. And here's drums. So they both peak at around 0. And of course, if I play them together now, it's going to peak over 0 dB. And it goes up to 4 dB, and you can probably hear some distortion there. Now, the other sidechain technique I talked about in other videos is ringmod sidechain. And this is what that sounds like. Now you notice that it's now peaking at 0 dB, so we're not going over 0 when you use ringmod sidechain. But the problem with ringmod is you're going to hear some distortion because it's just a super fast compressor. So when they kick, it's definitely audible, that distortion. Now, here's another way of doing this. Instead of ringmod sidechain is we simply crossfade between the kick and the rest. So the way I've set this up is using M ratio, which is a simple crossfader, and it's free. You can download it from Melda Production, and the crossfading is done by a modulator, which is just an LFO. And this is what that sounds like. And again, comparing that with ringmod sidechain. Crossfade sidechain. So neither of these go above 0 dB. Now, I do have an M utility here, which is just lowering the volume down by 0.1. I think using this constant power fades, sometimes it goes a little bit over 0 dB, so you might need to just adjust it afterwards. But the main thing is, to me, on this type of track, it sounds a bit cleaner because you hear fully the kick and there's no distortion of the kick by the bass line. Now, the one major difference is that certain parts of the drum track might be much quieter. For example, this hi-hat that's on like the offbeat, you can hear it much more on the ringmod sidechain. Versus the crossfade. The hi-hats are a bit louder on the ringmod sidechain. Now, one way you can kind of try to resolve this is instead of doing this crossfade full band, you do the crossfade in a multiband manner where you might not use such a drastic crossfade envelope on the high frequencies and do a much more drastic crossfade on the low frequencies. And you can do this in multiple ways. I did this with another plugin called MXXX, and this lets you create multi-band effects, and all it simply does here is I've created two bands, both with a ratio device. But the key difference here is the envelope, which is defined here. It affects each band differently, and the way that I've set that up is this is actually modifying a multi-parameter, and in this multi-parameter, for the low band, I go from 0 to 100%, which is the full crossfade, and versus the high frequencies, I don't crossfade completely. So you kind of keep more of those higher frequencies. Show you what this looks like. If I'm on the low band, you will see this ratio going all the way from 0 to 100. And on the high band, it doesn't crossfade completely. Now, just to compare this multiband crossfade sidechain with the full band one, here is the multiband again. And here is the full band. Here's the ringmod. You should hopefully be able to hear the distortion there. Again, here is full band crossfade. And here's multiband. Show a little bit if I change the amount crossfading. Let's say I only do it on the bass frequencies, so I keep it the high frequencies never crossfading. You see some cases that even because of the crossfade, you might get some overs 0 dB. So you might need to change the output a little bit. But if I move this crossfading to be more for the high frequencies, you'll hear the sound difference. And you kind of have to tweak this to what sounds the best. And again, you might have some overs here, and that's due to the crossover, but it's going to be like 0.1, 0.2 dB. It's still nowhere near as summing them both up together. So these are just two more ways that you can do sidechaining. I think the Crossfade Sidechain is a bit cleaner than ringmod. It doesn't introduce much distortions. The Crossfade is really making a choice between the drums or the rest, and one is going to sacrifice the other, but still you're going to keep it under 0 dB. So hopefully that's useful.